Sovereign citizens.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, Cody loves sovereign citizens. One of his favorite topics.
They're so fun.
All right, so much fun. I'm not trying to toot my own here, but I think I am single-handedly responsible for bringing the sovereign citizen thing into YouTube.
When did you start? Like, when did you start talking about it?
Like 2016.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see it kick up to like 2020, so you would have been one of the.
Yeah, because when I was a cop, I ran into one sovereign citizen. He's like, I can drive around, I can do whatever I want. I don't need a license. We're like, dude, you can't do that.
What was his name?
I'm not saying names.
Was it?
What?
You're not going to talk about the guy?
We'll see.
Which guy?
X gonna get you.
Oh God, Earl. No, I just say Earl's like a sovereign citizen because he thought he didn't have to have a driver's license. There was another guy, this white dude.
Literally, like you arrested, but you arrested DMX. Like.
Cody pulled over DMX a lot.
Everyone in my police department pulled over Earl a lot. And he's just
First name basis.
Hi, Earl.
Hey Earl, what's up, man? But there was this white dude that we would pull over to, and he was another one of those guys. And it's like he would say, "People are walking through my yard. Can I put up punji pits?" And we're like, "Dude, no." And so I started to realize, like, people who are actual hardcore sovereign citizens, they like really believe in like the anti-government things, which is how I'm like now. But we used to pull them over all the time, and then when I started my YouTube channel. I started seeing the videos of how fucking, like, I don't want to say crazy, but just how out of touch they are. It's like,
crazy is the fitting word.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one. And I started making sovereign citizen videos, and that's what launched my channel from I had 10,000 subscribers, and it went to like 300,000 in a couple months.
You did a sovereign citizen bingo.
Yeah, I used to do sovereign citizen bingo, and so people could pick the things they're going to say. Black's Law Dictionary, like I'm just traveling, things like that.
Traveling's the big one.
Maritime law.
Admiralty law.
Captains, yeah.
Yeah,
you're just road pirates.
Road pirates. Road pirates is like a really cool word. It's
awesome.
That's an awesome term.
Didn't somebody give us a patch on the live show that was like road pirate something?
Yeah. I sold shirts that said road pirates for a while. And I started doing that in 2016. That's one of the big things that got my channel big, was talking about sovereign citizens.
I had like a level of okay, maybe sure they're annoying, but maybe they actually think that there's some legal loophole they're getting through and stuff. Kind of like when guys are like, don't talk to the cops, when they're like, I was in fear for my life, I want a lawyer. Like that whole thing. I'm like, maybe the sovereign citizens are down that track. But then when I actually looked into their what they think is going on, it's like, oh, this is insane. This is It is next door to the QAnon, Donald Trump is going to execute everyone in office now. It's like
Donald Trump is underground in a firefight under the Capitol currently.
Literally, that is the exact same, because the whole idea with the sovereign citizen is the United States government secretly at some point became not a government and is now a corporation. Yep. But because they're a corporation, even though
it was 1913 with the development of the Federal Reserve.
Do you know their whole lore of what they think happened?
Not the whole corporation.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm learning a lot.
Do you know it as well?
I'm familiar. I haven't, I'm not brushed up on it.
I just thought it was funny seeing their windows get busted out and then being pulled out.
Okay.
Cody's simple, man.
So this... What leads to that is generally, and no two sovereign citizens believe the same thing, because it's really just a belief that is incorporated into other groups, other ideas, stuff like that. You do see a lot of it in QAnon groups. You see a lot of it in nationalist groups, stuff like that.
What's funny to me in your video specifically, not to cut you off, is that it's very racist in origin from both sides.
Yeah, so it's
a bunch of anti-white and anti-black racists shaking hands on fucking, we don't have to follow the law.
Can't we all just come together?
It started as an exclusively white nationalist idea, and then years later, as more people started to pick it up, really around the 90s, 2000s, it became black nationalists started to get it sometimes. So it's really weird. But the core root of it was that the United States at some point quit being a country. Now, when that is debated. Some say it was during the Civil War. Some say it was when we left the gold standard. Some say it's when Washington, D.C. was created. At some point, we quit being
right after World War II.
Right after World War II is another popular one.
Really?
And instead,
what happened then?
That we had a war debt to pay, and we needed someone to pay it. So so the idea is we dissolved the nation as a government and instead became a corporation that is an extension of another country. Most often it's Great Britain. Sometimes it's Israel, of course. Sometimes it's like Germany or France.
And
or
now
something
there's
like that.
now your social security number is actually a checking number, and if you know how to fill out the right paperwork, you have millions of dollars that you can just access magically.
So the idea is,
Of course, that would stay a secret.
at whatever point all this happened, the United States became bankrupt, and we needed money somehow. So because we were out of money, we began somehow leveraging the potential work power or capital, whatever, of prospective people when they're born to other countries.
Amazing. They think all of us are worth millions of dollars.
It's very, it's kind of uplifting a little bit when you think about it that way.
So optimistic.
That we're worth that much money. So they start getting like loans from other countries based on our value. So tied to every person in the United States, there is a secret fund of money that is their value. Another nation is contributing to the United States corporation on behalf of them.
This is why FDR started Social Security.
This is what
like
Social
what it all ties
Security
into,
is.
yeah.
This is where Social Security numbers come from. This is where things like
This hooks people.
There's other examples of it, of like, when you get a birth certificate, your parents signing your birth certificate is them like willingly signing you over to the United States corporation.
Yeah, we're just getting really deep into this.
Yeah. It's like there's so many layers to it. So that's the whole idea.
I will say I believe in 0% of it because obviously it's fucking retarded. But there are a few things that are weird about it. Just like Social Security, like in the law specifically stating like this is not allowed to be an identification number of any kind. And now everything you do now
is
you're
Social
identified by
Security.
your Social
It's
Security.
always
Like,
the social, because there's no other like ease they have of it. There's no
Yeah.
other number that's tagged to people as easily as it is. And
Maybe I am a sovereign citizen.
That's the thing. They will pull stuff out of context all the time. They'll pull stuff from the Magna Carta. They'll pull stuff from the Articles of Confederation. Be like, actually, in this source it says that.
Neither
And-
of which we're governed by.
But because the United States doesn't exist anymore, we're not governed by anything. So
Okay.
you basically pick which one you want to be governed by. And that's
Convenient.
what you're governed. Yes, very convenient.
I get to pick my own rules.
But then it gets into like, okay, so the idea is the United States is just a corporation, right?
hold on.
Specifically of Great
Choose
Britain.
your own adventure.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
I want this one.
There are black nationalists that want to not accept the 13th Amendment.
Wait, we'll get there.
Okay.
That does come in.
I was going to say that's fucking
No.
wild.
That does come in. Hold
Okay.
on. So the idea is that because we are no longer a country and we're like extension of Great Britain, just a company, right? We don't actually adhere to any real legal system. We are under maritime law, commercial law, or admiralty law, because the United States is effectively a trade route for Great Britain.
You getting
right?
flashbacks?
So that is why they don't have to abide by the laws, because it's not the laws of any government, it's the laws of a corporation, right? And the ways that they choose to opt out of these things can be that if you send in a check with your Social Security number, the government is required to pull it from your secret fund that they don't tell you about, but you can still access. You can file paperwork with your local clerk to get you removed. There's the idea that you have something called a straw man, which is the difference between you, yourself, and your legal name, all caps. Because on your birth certificate and
I forgot about the
identification,
all caps
your
thing.
name's in
Oh.
all caps, right? So there's two Codys. There's Cody all caps and you Cody. If you can file paperwork to separate yourself from all caps Cody, you get all of all caps Cody's secret government money. And because of that, they will
Cody-
never identify themselves as their name. It is never John Smith. It is I am : John parentheses son of parentheses Smith. Like, because if you use your name John Smith, well, that is you willingly giving into the government's exploitation of you as a product.
Cody is fighting muscle memory to not drag you out of your fucking chair right now.
You just hear a bang and he's like, he was resisting.
It reminds me of like the demonology shit. It's like the power of the name kind
Yes,
of like.
and it's weird too, because they think that like, because it's a corporation, the corporation only has power if you play its game, right? So if instead, if an officer says
Pulls you out of car.
if an officer says, "Do you understand?" never respond with "I understand," because that says I am under the standing of the officer. So instead say, "I comprehend."
It's the
Or,
knees
"I
you have
get
to
it," or
worry
something
about.
like that.
The crazy.
Or
The craziest part about all this is
we had from the audience.
thinking that every cop in America knows all of this.
Yes,
and
and
is just
they're
keeping
just
it a
like,
secret.
every cop in the United States is like, I am a British like agent, and I can't tell anyone, not even my family. Like,
Jesus Christ. The majority of policing comes down to people just being retards, right? There's like almost 1 million police officers in the United States. And it's wild that, like, I understand what you're saying, but it's like the cop out there on the road isn't going through these fucking
not
mental
thinking.
gymnastics,
Yes, exactly,
like going
yeah.
through this. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, dude, I just want to make sure you're safe on the road so you don't wreck into a family of 4.
he is not ready.
That's it. Yeah, that is fucking it.
Imagine
Hey,
a
you were
person-
speeding. What?
Yeah, he has
What the
never
fuck?
he has never heard the word maritime in his life. He is not prepared for the argument he's about to get into.
Imagine the kind of person.
Tell me we're in a landlocked state. What are you talking about?
We live in Indiana. Imagine the kind of person that has to have a weekly interaction with the cops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing with these
Wherever
guys.
Connor lives, probably.
You know, you never hear these guys like just talking about their thing. It is always in court or traffic stops, because all of them are on their 3rd DUI, or they're like, they owe money to the state, they're not paying back and can't pay it back. So most of the time, like if you watch a series of court appearances, it'll be like 2 normal appearances, and then the third one's like, I, John, am C X Y, son of Smith, hereby comprehend what you're saying and use my maritime ability. And the judge is like, here we go. Like, it's starting. They got another one.
I found the cheat
Look, man,
codes.
stop getting shithoused and driving your car. That's all we
literally,
want.
yeah,
That's all
stop
we fucking
drinking and
wanted.
driving,
That's
yeah.
it. That's fucking it.
Meanwhile, the defendant, up, down, left, right, left, right.
Dude, the number of like weird codes they have as well. Okay, so for example, like the bar, the thing that lawyers in the United States
course.
go up against. They say that some say that the bar stands for British something registry, British accreditation registry or something like that. So that is a secret code that for some reason is public, that all lawyers are just extensions of Great Britain. In courtrooms where the American flag has the gold fringes around it, gold fringes are seen on the naval crest, indicating that United States courtrooms, American flags, are just a piece of the Navy of Great Britain. And yeah, it just goes on and on. There's stuff like
connecting dots.
there's stuff that like
and reaching at
if
this
you
point.
sign like a piece of paper in red ink, that is a subtle reminder to the government, because red ink is used to close business transactions, that you do not support them and that you are instead signing to excommunicate yourself from them.
And the government's
dude.
going to care.
And the government's going to care. That's the craziest thing about it. It's not just the government's evil and hates me. It's the government's evil and hates me, but if I can say the right words the right way, they'll give me $20 million. It's like, what? Like the levels of delusion
Do
you
they
have to
know
reach for.
somebody that is?
No. Okay, that's the thing.
That's what I
That's
was
the
like.
thing.
Someone they're like, well, my cousin got it.
No, this always comes from people who have had they've had a guru talk to them. So there's these gurus of the movement who, of course, sell self-help books and sell info online, and it's always marketed to people who need help. It's like, hey, you can't afford, your court case or whatever. Well, you're actually entitled to blah blah blah. And then desperate people like try to say the words, but they don't understand what they're saying, and it always that's the reason it always comes off as like funny in courtrooms and stuff, because they're just saying words that they have no idea how they connect, where they go, stuff like that.
But they're like, I heard a guy on YouTube say
On
that.
YouTube.
Yeah.
There's one video I saw, which you may have seen it. This guy gets pulled over by a cop, and he's like talking to the cop out the window, and he's doing the whole like, I comprehend, I wasn't driving, I was traveling or whatever. And the cop actually knew what he was talking about. So the cop's like, can you step out of the vehicle for a minute? And like the guy gets out and he's like, look, I'm aware of the whole sovereign citizen thing. It's not real. It's a false thing that's sold. I don't know what you've heard, but it's not real. And then the guy just goes quiet and goes, I'm sorry, man. I just read all of this online. I didn't know. He's like, it's okay. You want to try this again? He goes, yeah. And just have a normal reaction.
That is like hilarious.
That is a good cop.
He saved one. He saved one.
That's the good ending.
Yeah. Because normally where it ends is like you said, like, and out of the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's always guys who have like a DUI who's like, I don't need a license. Oh, that's another thing. They're not driving, they're traveling, because according to them, driving is an occupation. You only need a driver's license if you are transporting people, like a bus driver, or if you're transporting goods, like a truck driver. Otherwise, because in one early United States document, there's an article somewhere that says in the United States you have the freedom to travel as you would. So they're like, well, freedom of travel, and I'm not driving, I'm traveling.